When you think of Italy, what comes to mind? Probably ancient ruins, right? Maybe incredible food, high fashion? And yeah, all of that is true for sure, but today we're going to look past the postcard image. We're diving into a nation of fascinating contradictions, a country that's right in the middle of a really dynamic and sometimes pretty surprising transition.
So, I gotta ask you, think you really know Italy? Well, let's put that to the test. We're about to jump into the data and the stories that show what's really shaping its society, its economy, and, well, its future.
So, we're going to start with the absolute foundation of Italian life, family. But we're going to focus on a group whose influence is, honestly, often overlooked. But get this, they are the quiet engine that keeps modern Italy running. Take a look at this number, 30%. Just kind of hanging out there, right? So what on earth could it represent? Well, it points to one of the most powerful social forces in the entire country today.
That's right, 30% of all Italian families rely on their nonni, their grandparents, for daily childcare. You know, with over 12 million grandparents in the country, they're not just beloved family members, they are a fundamental, absolutely essential part of the social fabric.
And what's wild is when you look at how working parents cope, a full 40% rely on grandparents. I mean, that absolutely dwarfs professional daycare. And this isn't just about convenience, you guys. We're talking about a serious economic powerhouse. Some studies have estimated that all this unpaid care is worth billions of euros every year. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Guardians of memory, transmitters of values. The bottom line is the Italian family, and frankly, the whole economy, it just wouldn't work the same way without them. Simple as that.
Okay, so from family, let's pivot to another famous Italian pillar. You guessed it, food. We all know its culinary traditions have pretty much conquered the world. But back home, the Italian plate is changing in some really unexpected ways.
First, let's talk about the giant in the room. Italy is the undisputed king of pasta. It's a €5 billion industry. I mean, it is a global symbol of Italian culture and a massive made-in-Italy success story. No question. But here's the thing, even the most sacred daily rituals aren't immune to change. Let's take coffee. That iconic morning routine is having a quiet little revolution, not in the cafes, but right inside Italian homes.
Would you look at this? The traditional mocha pot. You know that silver pot you see in basically every Italian kitchen for generations? It's been overtaken. Capsule machines now make up almost 43% of coffee made at home. It's a huge sign that modern convenience is reshaping even the most timeless traditions.
At the same time, Italy is having to face the darker side of its amazing food culture, waste. And the number is just staggering. 6.7 million tons. That is how much food Italian households throw away every single year.
But, and this is where it gets really cool, that whole beautiful contradiction thing we've been talking about, it pops up right here. What do you do with all that waste? Well, a genius startup called Bioscience is taking the byproducts from roasting coffee, stuff like the silver skin, and is turning them into a durable, eco-friendly, vegan leather. How cool is that? It's the circular economy in action, turning a huge problem into a valuable new product.
All right, let's pull back from the kitchen for a second and look at the whole country's economy, because this is where we find one of the starkest contrasts. You've got a country pouring money into this huge public spectacle for the world, while at the same time, private wealth is getting more and more concentrated at the very top.
I mean, just look at this lineup. Italy is gearing up for an unbelievable run of massive international events. You've got the Jubilee in Rome, then bam, the Winter Olympics, the America's Cup, and the European Soccer Championship. The country is investing a ton to welcome millions of people and put on a great show for the world.
Okay, so while all that public money is being spent, take a look at the other side of the coin. The private wealth here is just immense. Giovanni Ferrero of the whole Ferrero Rocher and Nutella empire, his family's fortune is nearly $50 billion. Now, this isn't a critique, it's just a fascinating snapshot of these two parallel economic realities happening at the exact same time.
And here's where those two worlds collide. This number, 12 billion euros, that's the money tourism is expected to bring in for Rome alone during the 2025 Jubilee. It just shows you the insane scale of the economy being churned up by these public events, an economy that exists right alongside that super concentrated private wealth.
All right, so for our last section, let's look to the future. How is Italy actually designing what comes next? We're going to check out two fascinating examples. A totally revolutionary approach to public health, and a really unique way of connecting with its deep cultural roots.
Okay, this is a huge deal.
Italy just became the first country in the world to officially classify obesity as a chronic disease. What that means is it's no longer seen as just a lifestyle issue. It's now considered a medical condition that deserves real, sustained, systemic care. That changes the whole game.
And it's not just talk. The law puts real action behind it. We're talking prevention campaigns in schools, creating specialized care networks, and this is so important, actively fighting the stigma and protecting people from discrimination. It's a really holistic and frankly compassionate approach to a major public health challenge.
And for our final point, one last number for you, 700 plus. But this one isn't about a problem to be solved. It's more like a treasure to be unlocked, and it connects Italy's future directly to its celebrated past. So that number represents over 700 hidden cultural sites. We're talking private palaces, secret gardens, historic homes that are normally locked up tight that are open to everybody for one weekend a year. It's thanks to an amazing group called the FAI, the National Trust for Italy. It's this massive civic event where people volunteer to share their own heritage, making the past a living, breathing part of the present.
Which brings us right back to our big question, doesn't it? When you think about everything, from the indispensable Nonni and turning coffee grounds into fashion, to world-versed health laws and opening up hidden history, Italy is navigating a really complex path. It leaves you wondering, how does a country so deeply rooted in tradition manage to constantly reinvent itself for the future?